Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to go against the grain a little bit today. And I'm going to say there was a bad case of too much and not enough on last night's Raw. It is February 15th, and I'm doing my review today rather than last night on a few facts, or for a few reasons. Last night was Valentine's Day, and my wife was gracious enough to allow me to watch SmackDown, and afterwards I had to give her the same attention, if you know what I mean. So, that was the first reason. Second reason, I wasn't sure how I was going to do the show. I felt like I kind of needed to rewatch SmackDown to give a better review, and maybe my mixed reactions and views would change. However, I didn't do that. I didn't want to sit through some of that again. Now, there's a lot of people out there that praise SmackDown for being so much better than Raw. And in most cases, yes, it is. And yes, we are having the fallout from Elimination Chamber as well. But there was just way too much talking for me in this episode last night. There was too much filler. And you'd think coming off the high from Elimination Chamber, this show would have been jam-packed with action. It really wasn't. We had 3 matches. We had an attack, and we had another cat fight that was broken up, and that was all. Now, I'm not going to knock the matches. The matches were good. The main event was fucking fantastic. But there should have been more. There should have been more wrestlers being promoted. We should have seen at least 5 matches. Like, give me a break. Like, we could have seen NAOMI on Talking Smack talking about her injury, and by the looks of it was just a minor one. It's not going to put her on the shelf in any means. So I really didn't see a point in that segment. Although Alexa Bliss, you know, she does play the heel card very well. She talks very well. It just, to me, there should have been more. There should have been a match. There should have been something. And it's almost like when SmackDown gets to be the number 1 in the ratings, they've got to kind of dumb the next show down in hopes that Raw will catch back up and be number 1 again. And I don't see a reason for that. SmackDown, as far as I can tell, that everyone's been pushing, is the wrestling show. And I'm going to go so far as to say that I've seen a lot of reviewers complain about seeing Stephanie McMahon too much on TV. Well, last night, how many times did we see Daniel Bryan? And yes, when Daniel Bryan is shown, it's more of an important role he's playing. But another case of too much and not enough. So that is my review for the show. If I were to give it a, you know, on a scale to 10, I'd probably pick a 6 or 7. That's me, my opinion. You know, I'll probably have some thumbs down on that one. I don't really fucking care. You know, if I really cared about what people thought, I wouldn't be doing this. I am doing this to better myself, the way I speak in public, the way I speak to public. So, I shouldn't be telling anyone to fuck themselves either, but it's my opinion. You don't like what I have to say, who cares? Now, we had the show open with the new world champion, Bray Wyatt. And this guy always puts the asses in the seats when he talks. Everyone listens. Everyone is behind this guy. Everyone's happy that he finally made it. They were chanting that he deserved it. You know, that is a good sign. The fans want him to be in this position in the wrestling world. And it is about time he got it. Now, one thing that pissed me off about this is when John Cena came out and told him that you deserve nothing in this world, you earn it. I wanted, I could have yelled at my TV right there, you go fuck yourself, but John Cena isn't going to hear that. This guy has been in WWE for how many years now? And he's been given little pushes and then it's been taken away. He's been given another push and it's been taken away. And it's no fault of his. It's booking. And to say that he hasn't earned that spot, John Cena needs to fuck off. You know, I know there's people that love John Cena. I'm a fan of John Cena. Not a big fan. He's done a lot for the business. All the charity work he does for the business and for himself. And it's outstanding what he does. Like, the guy is a machine. But to tell another wrestler that's been working his ass off to finally get what he deserves and what he has earned, and told him that you need to earn it, I'm sorry, he's already been there and done that. You know, and Wyatt, he welcomed everyone to the era of Wyatt. And he went a little biblical, a little bit cultish, but I love that about him. He knows how to do it very well. And we had AJ Styles interrupt this as well, and basically said that he was tired of John Cena jumping in line, cutting in, and he was first. He should be first. He has his title rematch clause still intact. So we had a case of two guys wanting to face Bray Wyatt for the world title. So Daniel Bryan came out and turned around and made this a triple threat championship match. Everyone liked it. Everyone cheered. We at home, we loved the idea. So why not? These three guys together, they make a great fucking show. Hell, they were the show tonight. Because frankly, even the matches that they had, they weren't all that great. Like, I'm not going to say they sucked. We've seen the Ascension, and they followed this whole segment with Daniel Bryan, John Cena, AJ Styles, and Bray Wyatt. And they would meet the tag team champions, American Alpha. And the Ascension actually showed a glimmer of hope for their career. They kept the ring cut off on Chad Gable. They kept him on right there away from his opponent, or his tag team partner, Jason Jordan, for the majority of the match. They beat this fucker down. And it almost looked like they might have an opportunity to pin the tag team champions and kind of raise their names up a little bit more on the totem pole. Alas, grand amplitude, and it was all over. You know, like, we had good action in this match. I liked the match. I could have seen it going a little bit longer, but they had filler to put in the show, so they couldn't have a match going too long. American Alpha won, and then we have seen the Usos on the big screen on the Titantron, and basically talking SmackDown at American Alpha. And when they're done, American Alpha, it looked like they still wanted to say something. They were still holding their mics, but they just kind of stood there in the middle of the ring dumbfounded. And to me, that didn't really make them look good. So, you know, they need to talk a little bit better. And here's more filler. We had Carmella and James Ellsworth backstage, and just talking bullshit. Dean Ambrose comes charging in looking for Baron Corbin. And this set off for events to follow during the night. Daniel Bryan shows up, and Carmella points out that Ambrose and Ellsworth have unfinished business. Daniel Bryan makes a match between the two for tonight. Ellsworth asks Carmella what she was thinking, and she says now he can teach that dirtbag Ambrose a lesson. You know, Ellsworth knew he was in trouble. We come back from a commercial. Ellsworth and Carmella are in the ring. Ellsworth introduces Carmella for some reason. He's the one that's supposed to be wrestling, but he has to spell out fabulous and introduce the world to Carmella like the little bitch he is. A waste of time, you know, more filler. And we were all expecting Dean Ambrose to come out, kick his ass. This part I loved. Baron Corbin drags Ambrose out on stage and drops him right near the edge of the ramp and just boots him right off of it. Ambrose made a short comeback. Tried getting the one-ups on Baron Corbin and suffered a deep six right through electrical equipment. Now, if you were watching what I watched during this part, you're going to notice that they put the pyro off, or they set off the pyro a little bit sooner than Ambrose actually hit the equipment. So a minor botch, you know, it was just a little bit of sparks, but they went off before Ambrose actually even touched anything. This is setting up for a big match between these two. These two, you know, everything went down at Elimination Chamber between these two. Baron Corbin obviously upset that Ambrose pinned him and eliminated from the Elimination Chamber. And this is the backlash, I guess you could say, or the fallout. We had Nikki Bella trying to reason with Daniel Bryan backstage about what they can do about the volatile Natalya situation. Natalya enters, bickering ensues, they start fighting, and Daniel Bryan calls out for officials to break up the fight. Where is your nutsack? Is it at home with Brie Bella? Because you didn't get involved or try and stop this until you had 2 or 4 other guys holding on to these women, and that's when you interjected yourself and started screaming, "Let go over here, let go over here." More filler, more waste of time. Baron Corbin is interviewed backstage, and he says that he's not WWE champion because of Dean Ambrose. Now Ambrose is on his way to the hospital because Baron Corbin. Enough said. We didn't really need this. You know, I know they're trying to push Baron Corbin more. I know that he needs more time on the mic, but we really didn't need this. Like, this whole part I've just talked about could have been left alone. And then we have another interview with Dolph Ziggler. And he says that he's just getting started, and if he has to destroy the whole new era generation of superstars to get his point across, then that's what he's going to do. Like, you see a trend going on here? You know, there's going to be others that argue against me. There's going to be people that swear at me for what I have to say. I don't care. This is filler. This is a waste of my time. This bored me. Like, this whole area, except for the Baron Corbin attack, there was no reason for it. We didn't need to see this. We know it. We've had to suffer through it already. We don't need all this. Like, it was like they were interview happy tonight. And I really didn't see a point of that. So, we had the next match. It was the women's singles match, Becky Lynch versus Mickie James. It was a really good match. I'm not going to take anything away from these women. Like, they know how to wrestle. They know how to put on a show. And that's what they did. It was a back and forth match. Mickie James taking it out on Becky Lynch. Becky Lynch giving it right back. Mickie ends up claiming she's injured during the match. It's like she tweaked her shoulder or trying to feign a dislocation or something. And it was a nice ploy. It was a nice plain pasta moment. And it worked. She delivered the chick kick. And 1, 2, 3, Mickie James got the victory. I can't say too much bad things about this match because there wasn't anything bad about it. These women know how to put on a show. I just wish we would have seen more of this rather than the filler. And I know there's always going to be filler on wrestling. And I'm going to go so far as to say that if SmackDown was 3 hours long, we'd be bitching about SmackDown just as much as we're bitching about Raw right now. Because as I seen tonight, they can really fill a lot of bullshit into a show. And case in point, we had Naomi in the ring and starts talking about the honor of being the women's champion. She reveals that she was injured in her match at Elimination Chamber, and Alexa Bliss interrupts and comes out and cuts a promo on her. Bliss tells her she has 1 week to either forfeit the title due to injury or face her in a rematch. Like I said, this could have been done on Talking Smack. This could have given them something to talk about on Talking Smack. It didn't need to be done during the show. And it's, by the looks of it, it's such a minor injury as well. I'm not going to claim it's a bad injury. I know injuries. And I suffer through pain 24/7. There's not a second or a minute or an hour that goes by where I don't feel pain. So I shouldn't really say anything, knock these women when they say they're injured. But it doesn't look like a major injury. She made it down to the ring, obviously. She's got a knee brace on, but it was filler. And then we had more filler. TJ Perkins cuts a promo ahead of 205 Live. For after SmackDown. Just more filler. I know. Not even going to get into it because I didn't really see a point of it. And the match everyone was waiting for, we had the WWE World Championship Triple Threat match. Bray Wyatt versus John Cena versus AJ Styles. And like I said before, it was a great match. A phenomenal match. No pun intended. These guys worked each other. They were brutal towards each other. And we seen a lot of finishing moves. Except for Bray Wyatt's. I believe we only seen Sister Abigail once last night. He attempted one on John Cena earlier in the match, but John Cena was able to evade and escape the clutches of Bray Wyatt. So, I believe that was the only attempt he actually made for Sister Abigail, but we seen Styles clash. We've seen multiple FUs or attitude adjustments, whatever you want to fucking call it, and a lot of great moves. We've seen the flying forearm. We've seen it on the outside. Nailed Bray Wyatt with it. And it was an all-around exceptionally good match. It kept me interested. The women's match kept me interested. The tag team match was interesting. It was just everything in between was just too much. And it kind of ruined the show for me. So, I'm going to get into this last match to review right now. At the outset, Bray Wyatt's making his entrance. And the lights come on. And Luke Harper is standing there. And he super kicks Bray Wyatt. And begins to beat the shit right out of him. Throwing him against the barriers. Attack after attack. Just leveled him. John Cena, AJ Styles, they just stood there and watched. They figured, well, this just makes our night easier. We only have to fight each other, really.